Ojiro, here. Ojiro, you too. Come here. And he pulled out his swords, and Tokoyami feels it and said, "Dang, dude, this is heavy." And even Ojiro said, "Man, it's impossible to hold this up." And they're both using two hands. For Izuku, he can only use one hand. He's using one hand for each for each sword. Izuku said, "Yeah, it's very tough metal to break, so it's forged into the swords." Then Dark Shadow came out and asked, "Hey, Midoriya, did you make these swords too?" Zuko said, Thankfully yes, no. Ojiro said, "So which one is it?" Deku said, I actually made that sword, Ojiro. And my dad, he made that one, Tokoyami. And Tokoyami looked at it, see all the details on it, and asked, he's about to ask another question, but he heard, from All Might. They got serious. Everybody, Zuko put those two swords back in, and All Might is discussing about the fights. Hero versus villains. Two teams, 2-on-2. So everybody's getting at the, who's going to be heroes, who's going to be villains. And the team up is going to be Zuko Midoriya and Momo. And who they're fighting against is going to be Bakugo and Kirishima. Now, I'm going to do this fight. After the fight, it's going to be over. That's what I think. Hopefully, it will be over that way. Now, they're took Kirishima and Bakugo is going to be over in the bombs, being the villains and taking and making sure. Bakugo is going to still be the hothead and try to go after them, but Kirishima actually go after them as well because he doesn't think he's good enough to protect he doesn't think that Bakugo is strong enough to take in both of them. Momo and they have 5 minutes. Momo and Deku try to discuss a plan, and she's saying, "How about like this?" And Deku said, "No, that won't work. We need to protect the bomb and take down the two villains." So they're discussing, and Deku said, all right. Your quirk is creation, right?" She said, "Yes." Zuko said, You can make solid. Can you make liquids or gases?" She said, "No, I cannot make gases or liquids. I can only make solid equipment." Deku thinks, "Okay. By any chance you can use sticky pads or like mouse traps meant for humans? Kind of like glue." No, that won't work. You need the substance for glue. And she said, "How about I make flash bombs?" Zook said, "Yeah, those will actually work. But I thought those had like liquid in them." She said, "They do, but I'm able to make that kind of substance." Oh, and they he decided, "Okay, give me two, and you make as much as you need." And they decide a plan, and they seem it's gonna work. Zuko's gonna be the distraction for both of them, and she'll run past him, try and get to the bomb and get it. Their original plan is to be as close to the bomb room as possible. As the buzzer goes off, Zuko and Momo are getting through the door. Right at the door, they see Bakugo right in front of them, during an explosion. Zuko threw out his sword, used it to uh, block the explosion, and covering up Momo with his coat because it's fireproof, matterproof, all the other proof to make sure it's all good. And Bakugo is saying, "Fight me, you damn weakling! You will never get past me, you damn quirkless." Zuko's getting real pissed off with this guy, and said, "Hey, Momo, go on ahead, change your plans, find the bomb. Do not do anything. Wait until I give the signal." And she said, okay," and she's slowly running. Bakugo tried to attack her, but Zuko got into it, pushed his hand up towards the ceiling, and pretty much pushed Bakugo away. Momo got away, and she's running towards the next hallway. Now, the fight between Bakugo and Zuko. He's holding both of his swords with no color. It's silver. And Bakugo said, "Ha! You need those stupid weapons and stupid swords to fight me? Be a real man and fight me in hand-to-hand combat." Zuko said, "Oh, all right." And he put his swords back away, took off his kimono, and he had an undershirt, some jeans, and the fighting style. And he said, "Come at me, uh, terrorist." Baku's very pissed and decided to fight him, but with his quirk. He has no chivalry. But and Deku is saying, "Hey," and he's like pushing all of his hands away from him, kind of like taekwondo, pretty much pushing it and using his force, the opponent force, against him, and slamming it down the floor, like he did in the very first day, and pretty much telling Bakugo, "Hey, so I'm not using my swords, so why are you using your quirk? Are you saying you're too weak without it?" Bakugo's getting real pissed at that and said, "Fine, I won't use my quirk. I'll show you how much of a weakling you really are." So they're fighting each other, and Bakugo is throwing a big right hook. Deku dodged it, but Bakugo somehow pushed down Zuko's head. Zuko, it seems like he can't move, but Zuko did something strange. He kicked Bakugo like a backwards axe kick. So he bent his spine just enough where he can kick Bakugo on the head, which Bakugo was confused and thinks that someone else was behind him, and said, "Who did that?" And he sees nobody back there. And he's turned around and see that Deku kicked him in that position. And Deku's saying, "Oh man, it's been a while since I get to use this technique." And now Deku is fighting against a Bakugo in a different style, all wild-like, all fighting him like extremely wild. Doesn't know how. He's doing two right hooks, a left hook, a punch to the face, almost to the groin, but he kicked him on a sweep of a leg, and Bakugo can't keep up. He's getting beat up real quick. Zuko and Bakugo has one of his grenades glowing and point at the Zuko. Said, "This was fun and all, but die." All Might pretty much tell him, "Baku, that's too dangerous for this battleground. You will not You're not allowed to use this. Bakugo did not hear that, and he pulled the trigger. Zuko, with his instincts, know that this is bad, so he went back to get his with his swords, and then a two flash cross, and well, I checked his moves, all water type, so I'm doing this one. He pulled out his sword and say, "Surface cut, a surface wave," and it cuts through his Bakugo's flames, seeming like it just went to steam. It showed some like water or some sort. Bakugo is very surprised that he is able to cut through his very explosion and said, "What? I thought you said you didn't have a quirk." Zuko running towards him with his sword up, slicing down, cutting both of his grenades gauntlet down, getting it everywhere. And Bakugo said, "You damn nerd!" And he tried to do an explosion, but with all the liquid everywhere, it got on him and on the floor. And when he ignited, it made a big explosion, not going towards him, but going towards around him. Deku steps back, and when he saw this, it just broke down the floor, and Bakugo collapsed into himself, pretty much. He's kind of trapped with the rubble, but he's still trying to move. Deku with his capture tape saying, "Oh, I guess this is the perfect time," and wrapped up Bakugo's arms and said Bakugo is eliminated, is captured. Deku said, "Oh, well, see ya," and he ran off with his swords and of in tow. He gets a call from the earplugs, and Momo said, "I found the bomb, and it's protected by Kirishima." And Zuko said, "Okay, tell me the directions." She does. He gets there, a few seconds, and she said, "It's right there, but I can't." And Zuko said, "Just throw your bombs, those flash bombs." And she said, "All right." And she threw a three. Kirishima, being somewhat smart, he actually had his eyes closed, and he saw big bright going through, but he closed his eyes, so he was able to see. And then Deku threw out his and said, "Hey, are you looking for me?" Kirishima hardening his skin, his body, and he's getting ready, but he did not blink. So all the flash affected him this time. And said, "Oh, dude, that thing that hurt." And he's like throwing punches everywhere, randomly hitting some pillars, breaking them. Momo's getting real close to the bomb, few feet away, but she got hit by one of the rubble. So she kinda is knocked out. Kinda bleeding, but just not a lot. Deku said, "Alright then." And he's like dodging all the punches, and Kirishima slowly but surely is getting his vision back. So he barely can tell where Deku is with that moving robe of sorts. That yellow is really helping. And he's saying, "Found you." And he's throwing punches at him, and only punches, not really much. Deku is holding his swords and blocking each punch with his swords. Zuko pretty much and put his sword into the ground and did kind of like a swing kick to help him go faster, kicking Kirishima on his ribs, which was hardened, so it didn't really affect him. Now Deku could see how strong he is and said, "Fine." And he put his two swords away and started fighting him like he did with Bakugo and getting real into it. This time he's doing some punches to the face, to the arms, to the chest, and it's affecting Kirishima to a point where he's getting really tired because he's leaving his hardening on for a long time. And so he relaxes it, and, and Deku had this time and did like 3 punches in one and a kick on his side, which Kirishima fell. He got up and said, "Come at me. Be, be a real man and defeat me with two hand-to-hand combat." Zuko said pretty much dodging all the punches. There he splits at one point. He jumped up to Kirishima. Kirishima doesn't know what to do, and he's just holding up with his two arms, kind of like a cross, and trying to protect from himself. And Deku hears "Hero Team wins," but it's already too late. He's already in midair, slam his head down on Kirishima's head as well, and Kirishima just knocked out after that. Uh, And some of the guys said a headbutt. And they're like, he defeated him with a headbutt, and they say, "What the H?" Yeah, and that'll be the end of this episode. Next time will be something different. Hope you guys like it, and bye.